Alright, so we're going to be setting up a simple scoring system. So as you can see, I have this scene set up with our third person controller, and they're obviously then rigged up to the camera as well, so the camera will follow. I have also imported the scoring system code that I have written, so it's written in C#, and this is on the N drive, so make sure you have this code dragged into your asset folder. So what we need to do is we need to create an object to pick up, and this pickup object is then going to trigger a score to be added in our top left hand corner. So we're going to be using the scoring system code as well as the pickup object code, and they are connected. So the first thing I'm going to do is, in a game object, I'm just going to bring in a 3D object and a cube. And this cube I'm just going to move in front of Ethan, and this will be the object that we're going to pick up. So I'll just resize it using my R key. And I need to make sure that this particular object has a collider on. So over in my inspector window here, you can see there is a box collider because we need to be able to run into the object, and then we need it to be triggered. So we're going to trigger using the code on trigger enter. So we need the collider on there, and you must have is trigger ticked. So on this particular box, we're going to put the pickup object script. So just click hold and drag the pickup object onto the cube. And if I click my cube to check, you can see that the script is now sitting just down below in the inspector window. Now we're wanting to add our scoring system, and we're going to add this to a user interface object. So up at my game object menu, I come down to my UI, and I'm going to create a canvas. This canvas, I'm just going to click on my game for the moment because I'm wanting to see where my text is going to be placed, and in my scene you won't be able to see it. So on my game tab, I'm going to right click on canvas, and I'm going to add a UI object of text. If I select text, you can see that there is a text box that has now appeared in the middle of the screen. Once again, if I'm in my scene, you can't see it properly, so make sure you're in your game scene. With this text here, I don't want to edit it because in my code, it has been allocated what we want the text to say. So the only thing I'm going to do is move the text to the top left-hand corner, and I can do this over in my inspector window so you can see the position of the X and the Y. We don't need to worry about the depth. So I can just start using my scrubby slider, or see how we're wanting it in the negative. So I might just guesstimate and go negative 100. That's not enough, so negative 180. Not enough, so I might go negative 220. Still not enough, negative 250. And then let's maybe even negative 280. And then with my Y position, we need it to be a positive, and I'm just going to drag it up here. And I might actually even increase the X position or decrease the X position so it sits nice in the corner there. If you're wanting it to be bigger at all, make sure your box width and height is big enough, and you can increase the size down in your font size here. Excellent. So now we have our text for our score. What we're wanting to do now is use our scoring system script. We're going to drag this scoring system script onto our canvas. And when I click on my canvas, you can see here that there is an empty variable called score text, and we need to assign what the text object is. So what we're going to have to do is click and drag our text down into our game object variable here, so it knows that that is the score text. So if I was to hit play now, in my game, this text will change to score +0 based on the code that's been written. And if I move my character and collide, the box will disappear and be destroyed because we've picked it up and collected it, and it will add a 1 to the score. If I'm wanting to add any other objects, what I can do is just come to my hierarchy here, and where my cube is, because we want it to still have the pickup object script, I can just right click and I can duplicate, and then I can move these all around the scene, duplicate that, and so then when I go to collect them, it should then pick up 1 and then 2 and add to the score. So you picked up 1, 2, and so on. So you can put as many objects as you like, and you can put that pickup script onto any 3D model. It could be a gem, it could be a coin, anything that you can think of, but you must have a collider and it must be set to isTrigger.